Welcome to the Electrameccanica conference call. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Bal Bulla, Chief Financial Officer. Thank you. You may begin.
Welcome, and thank you, everyone, for joining me for the Electrameccanica virtual presentation. Electrameccanica is a Canadian designer and manufacturer of electric vehicles. We are revolutionizing the future of mobility. My name is Bal Buller, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer and Director of Electrameccanica. I joined Electrameccanica about a year and a half ago. Very briefly about myself, I have designations in both accounting and risk management. I have over 25 years of experience in both publicly traded and private companies that I've owned and ran at executive levels and at board levels. The industries that I've been involved with are technology, manufacturing, e-commerce, resource, energy, transportation, and health and wellness. I have been involved in everything from corporate accounting, capital funding, corporate governance, regulatory, risk management, insurance, product development, marketing, and much more. In today's presentation, I'll be covering the following topics: our company overview, Solo mobility, evolution of the Solo itself, true cost of ownership comparison, the growing EV and rideshare market, the purpose-built for urban driving challenges, launch and strategic rollout, our marketing and advertising strategy, the path to profitability, company stock and financials, and then finally some key takeaways. Here we have our forward-looking statement. Electrameccanica is a Canadian designer and manufacturer of electric vehicles. We are redefining transportation. We are the future, and we are revolutionizing solo mobility from urban commuting, delivery, and shared mobility. We are the Solo tribe, and we are disruptors in this space. We are unique and dynamic in three distinct ways from our peers and others in the sector when it comes to our flagship vehicle, the single-seat, three-wheeled Solo. Three particular ways that we are very unique. One, our product, the Solo. It's an exciting driving experience. It's unique, it's trendy, it's fun, it's affordable, and environmentally friendly. It is purpose-built. We are revolutionizing and disrupting the mobility space when it comes from commuting and from commercial applications for fleets such as deliveries to car share. We are the future of transportation and mobility. Secondly, our product, the Solo, is produced in a very unique way. We have an asset-light manufacturing model with Zhongshan, who is our strategic partner. They are also known as one of the largest motorcycle manufacturers worldwide, which means that they know how to do mass-scale production and understand scalability. They are located in Chongqing, China. Thirdly, our product launch of the Solo is very different again from our peers. We are launching the Solo strategically through our detailed marketing and advertising plan and through kiosk stores by testing the locations before signing up longer-term leases to ensure that we have the right locations. We have a highly experienced management team with significant beneficial ownership of 43.8%. We are headquartered in Vancouver, Canada. We have a service and distribution center in Studio City, LA. We have 4 owned subsidiaries, 2 US, 1 Canadian, and 1 wholly owned China subsidiary. We are the Solo tribe for solo mobility. We have created this niche market and we own it. So you ask yourself, what is solo mobility? Well, if you take 2 bookends, one on your left-hand side, you see micromobility, such as scooters, bikes, which lack safety and protection features, and the users are exposed to the elements, and there is minimal technology integration and very limited range. Then on the right side, you have a passenger EV vehicle, which is expensive. It's got a higher cost of ownership, an oversized powertrain for majority of uses, and it requires a dedicated level 2 or level 3 charging infrastructure. Then in the middle, you have solo mobility, which is purpose-built for the modern urban environment. And that brings us to the evolution of our Solo. We have 64 prototype Solos that were hand-built at Electrameccanica's Vancouver facility. They were delivered to our early adopters and have been in circulation for a couple of years, with the first one being birthed in September of 2017. Last year, in 2019, we had 50 pre-production Solos that were manufactured by our strategic partner Zhongshan in Chongqing, China. These were specifically designed for further validation and testing. And then we will have the production Solo. This is the Solo that we've been anticipating to start production during late summer of 2020. And that's right, that is just a few months away. The Solo will be manufactured out of our dedicated facility by Zhongshan. And then we have the Solo.
I just wanted to add in that, that July is right now, and that could be a possible catalyst if that news gets released for the stock price. It could be. I don't know at the end of the day. I'm just guessing and I'm speculating, so just take that with a grain of salt. But I heard that, and I thought maybe I talk a little bit about it and pause the video. But anyways, I'm gonna keep with the video, and then I'm probably gonna post it tonight. So yeah.
So the production Solo will have 2 batteries, the 12 volt and a 144 volt. You'll be able to do 0 to 60 in 10 seconds with a top speed of just over 80 miles an hour, a range of 100 miles, a light composite body. Regular charge generally takes about under 4 hours. The technology that's been enabled in the Solo is the Bluetooth. We've got heated seats in there and rear view mirrors. MSRP is going to be at $18,500 US dollars. There is minimal maintenance to the Solo. And there is also some incentives, such as a $750 rebate from the state of California and a $2,500 rebate from the state of Oregon. The Solo has undergone safety testing beyond what's required for its vehicle class and features a number of safety and drivability upgrades that we've done, which include electronic power steering, torque limiting stability control, robust impact and roll protection, and a wider wheelbase for enhanced drivability. The Solo is one of the most economical electric vehicles out there compared to others. We do feel that we have an advantage over most of our competitors in what we are truly offering here. And when we're talking about economics here, if we do a true cost of ownership comparison, what I did was I took other EVs such as the Mini, the Nissan Leaf, the Chevy Bolt, and Tesla. And as you can see from this chart, there's a significant difference. Some of the costs, there's all sorts of costs that were included, such as insurance, maintenance, taxes, etc. And as you can see at the bottom there, the Solo is premium to other vehicles ranging from 40% to 104% less to own. And as we leave with that, we are growing the growing EV and rideshare market. In 2018, global EV sales totaled 2.1 million. The U.S. increased sales of EVs by 81% in 2018. Bloomberg predicts that by 2040, electric vehicles will account for 30% of all new vehicle sales. And California is still the largest consumer of electric vehicles in the U.S. That accounts for 50% of all electric vehicle sales are coming out of the state of California. The cost of the battery is the primary driver of the high cost of electric vehicles, but the battery cost is reducing over time. And one other key stat that we thought was quite impressive is today's EV market accounts for 1.8% of shared mobility fleet. This is set to grow by 80% in 2040. Purpose-built for urban driving challenges. Well, Electrameccanica has done extensive research whereby 76% of the people commute by themselves daily. 3 to 5 seats are left empty. Lower operating costs than traditional vehicles. As you saw in the cost of ownership chart, Solo is very economical compared to others. This is all about being a part of the Solo tribe, which is to be fun, trendy, environmentally friendly, cool, and affordable, that is purpose-built for the Solo tribe. Again, this is all about the mentality and not the demographics. Which leads us to ideal solutions that are targeted for multiple applications. We see us as the future in every aspect when it comes to consumers, to fleets, and deliveries, and shared mobility. This is the future of transportation. The Solo has 3 distinct market segments, 2 of which are commercial. The first one, daily commuters, urban drivers. And the second one, which is a commercial component, is for deliveries, fleets, couriers, such as Uber Eats, Amazon, Domino's, DHL. And then we have the third commercial aspect, which is shared mobility, such as Zipcar, Car2Go, Evo, hotels, universities, campuses. As you can see, there are multiple applications of what can be done with the Solo. And one of the reasons why we've been able to keep our costs down.
Okay, so I want to point out a few things with what you just said. The Solo mobile cars is such a unique looking vehicle that it's hard for people not to stare at. So it's a very good advertisement vehicle. That means that a lot of businesses are going to buy this car for their drivers so they can advertise at the same time. That's what I think, I think that's a big market for them. So I think they're going to sell a lot of cars to basically businesses for advertisement purposes. And that could also lead to a lot of consumers also interested in the vehicle because of all the small cars on the road. That could be a possibility, just saying. So let's play the rest of this video.
Down is because we have an asset-light manufacturing model with our partner Zhongshan. We as a company decided to outsource the commercialization of our Solo to keep capital expenditures low. Zhongshan also owns 3.8% of our issued and outstanding. Zhongshan is the largest motorcycle and motorcycle engine manufacturer in the world. They produce over 2 million motorcycles a year and maintains over 50 joint ventures worldwide. The Solo factory is located in Chongqing. We own all the tooling and the molds for production of our Solos. And Electrameccanica strategic partnership with Zhongshan significantly mitigates production risk and lowers our capital expenditures.
Another thing I want to point out, that the manufacturer owns 3.8% of the company in that slide. If you didn't notice, I'm just pointing that out. So let's begin.
So how are we going to do the launch? Well, the launch and the strategic rollout for the Solo is starting with deliveries in the LA area in 2020, followed by a broader West Coast rollout. We have an aggressive strategic marketing and advertising plan that is focused on the rollout. Our initial service and distribution center is located in Studio City, LA, which is a high traffic area, with also a kiosk in Beverly Hills Century City Mall. Stats have shown that LA is leading location for EV adoption. There are over 4.6 million daily commuters in LA, with an average drive of 30 minutes. The LA store is going to receive the initial deliveries of the Solos later this year. After the successful launch in LA, we will continue to expand the retail footprint along the West Coast. As a true global vehicle, the Solo will ultimately be available throughout the world, with key markets in Europe and Southeast Asia. Our marketing and advertising strategy. This is to establish and develop an exciting integrated brand identity that reflects a forward-thinking, dynamic, growth-oriented electric vehicle company. Our campaigns will include building awareness through digital marketing, influencers, revamping our website, billboard, print, and some traditional media advertisements. We are working with leading third-party marketing and advertising agencies to assist us with these initiatives. Our path to profitability. How we're going to achieve that, firstly, is to ramp up production volume. As we all know that by ramping up production volume, the minimal overhead costs will start to be recovered. It also provides us the ability to leverage buying power from our suppliers to gain more favorable pricing, and also enhances manufacturing efficiencies and increased automation. Secondly, how we're going to create our path to profitability is to establish a U.S. assembly facility through an initiative with BDO. We have identified 7 finalists with this robust incentive package. It's the ability to avoid cumbersome tariffs through local assembly of knockdown kits supplied by Zhongshan. This will also mitigate against other global economic factors for the company. We also want to capture the benefit from logistical efficiencies that limit uncertainties in the global supply chain. And the third way that we're going to reach path to profitability is a continued product development. In addition to the ongoing enhancements to performance, the company is focused on cost improvement initiatives, a clear path to reduce the bill of materials in future iterations of the Solo. We then get to the company stock and financials. In Q4, the results were released on March 25th. We had cash at the end of Q4 with just over 11.1 million. Issued and outstanding is around 37 million plus, fully diluted at 70.6 million shares. We have about 63 employees at the end of 2019 with 0 debt and beneficial ownership of 43.8%. Some additional items to note here is that we also have
I want to point out, employees at 63, at least they're honest about that. 63 employees is not very much. The expenses are probably very minimal, because if you pay 63 people a year at, let's say average of $70,000 per year. That's 4.4 million per year divided by 4. That is about $1.1 million per quarter on employees. So that's not too bad. Just saying, just pointing that out. But and then you also got to remember now that fully diluted would be 70.6 million. On top of that, they just raised an additional 10 million, which would put the company at fully diluted of 80 million shares. So it's a lot more than I expected that to be. So the company is actually worth quite a bit more than what I thought. Something I still gotta point out, regardless of me being a shareholder. I just want to point out all the facts, all the points. And no debt is good. $30 million of cash because they raised an additional 20. So yeah, actually 18.5 million. So they have at least some cash in the bank, and if the stock price gets pumped like Workhorse, then they can raise more money and continue executing on this strategy. So yeah, and become a producer of small electric vehicles. So yeah, I'm gonna continue the video and then talk more about it right after.
Freedom Financial, who will be doing all the lending for all the customers that require financing. We also have national insurance companies that insure the Solo, such as Allstate, Progressive, AAA, Foremost, and Farmers. 3 big catalysts. We're currently talking with strategic partners. We're also working on business partnerships that are significant in this space. And the biggest one, the biggest catalyst for us this year in the coming months is that we will be transitioning from a pre-production company to a production company in a matter of a few months. This will be a major milestone that we will be reaching for the first time. We have gone from the dream, the vision, then to the prototype, then to the pre-production of the Solos. And this year, we will be going into production. We are the Solo Tribe, and we are revolutionizing and disrupting this space when it comes to solo mobility and transportation. And with that, I'll give you guys.
Okay, so obviously she talked about the catalyst, which is pretty awesome. Where are we in right now? We are in July. They are going to be announcing their full production of their Solo cars in July. So on top of that, they are also talks with major partnerships, major partnerships. So it's very exciting to me. I hope to hear some of the partnerships that they're gonna have. So that production cycle, once they had that news, could have popped the stock in a big way. I don't know. I hope so, because I'm a shareholder, and I hope it pops the stock in a big way. So yeah, I'm gonna continue the rest of this video and then close it off.
Key takeaways. As you know, we are a designer and manufacturer that is redefining and revolutionizing commuting in solo mobility, from consumers to fleets, deliveries to car share. We are unique in 3 specific ways. 1, our product, the Solo, the single seat that is purpose-built. It's affordable, it's hip, it's cool, and it's got an amazing driving experience. Secondly, we are unique in how we produce it. We're low on CapEx. We are an asset-light manufacturing model, which keeps our costs low compared to the other peers in our group. Thirdly, is how we're launching the Solo. Commercial production and delivery of the Solo is planned for this year with the strategic rollout of an aggressive marketing and advertising plan. We have strong macroeconomic tailwinds with a large and rapidly growing EV market. We have a highly experienced management team. And most importantly, we are shifting the dynamic of this company, of Electrameccanica, from being a pre-production company today and becoming a production company this year in the coming months. We are the future, and we are here. In closing, I would like to thank you all for joining me today. Please stay safe and healthy, and welcome to the Solo Tribe.
This concludes today's webcast. You may now disconnect at this time. Thank you for your participation.